Hello, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. How are you this Sunday? I'm doing well. I did some gardening this morning and it was wonderful. I transplanted some of my lilac. No, not lilacs. I wish I could grow lilacs here. I did in Massachusetts, but not here. Anyway, I did some gardening and transplanted some lavender. So now I have tons of lavender. So, anyway, I had seen a video on aging tape. And what I used to do to age my tape, and why do I age my tape? I age my tape so that sometimes, you know, you have something vintage or what have you, and you just want to add some aged tape onto it. And I'll show you some examples when we finish. But what I used to do is I'd take some clear Scotch tape and I would place it onto some of the baking paper. So I'd lay out my baking paper and then I'd lay out the strips of the Scotch tape and then I would ink it. But I was watching Toni this morning, and I'll link her below, and she has come up with a genius idea. I think you could do this with most any kind of anything you wanted to make for like washi tape or what have you, but I'm going to be using this now instead of my age tape. And I'll show you some examples of how I use my age tape. So what I've done is I've already done this part because it takes some time. All you do is you put your double-sided tape on your baking paper on the kind of matte side, you know, because there's two sides to it. There's like a little bit of a glossy side and then there's a matte side. And so you want to place your tape on the matte side and, you know, just space it, you know, however you want. And you could use any width. I just happened to pick this width. And then, so what I did was I took one of my calendar pages, okay, like this. I put my baking paper down on top of this. And then I ran my tape across and taped it right to the calendar page. And then I just kept going across. And then I lifted it up, you know, because the tape comes off real well on the calendar page. And then I just, you know, trimmed it. So, you know, you'd have your washi on one side, and then you'd have this on the other side, and then you can just throw the calendar page away. So, I'm actually going to do it on this calendar page. I always use calendar pages for my old calendar pages. You can get them at the Dollar Tree or what have you. I don't ever use them for anything but gluing or something like this. So let's get started. So yeah, it's been a great Sunday. My husband's working, and the other thing you want to do is after you've taped it and turned it over, you want to take your bone folder and just kind of do this to make sure it's all nice and stuck. She didn't do this, but I did, because I didn't want any wrinkles or anything in my, you know, if you see any wrinkles, just take those wrinkles out. I don't really see any more, but I did have some, and I just thought just to make sure that was nice and stuck onto the baking paper, the parchment paper, I would do this. Okay, so just make sure it's all done like that. Now, my color of choice whenever I did my aging was always the Tim Holtz, and it was, oh gosh, I hate it when you can't find the color on this. This is, hold on one second. Let me see if I can see it in the light. This happens to be Sunshine Yellow. But she used a bunch of different colors, and I was really glad because sometimes I'd prefer a more brown color or a more pink color. And then I thought we could try some of the gold and see how that would work. You know, just in case, you know, I mean, here's some of the pink Distress Oxide. It's not ink. I don't know how that would work. So I don't know if I'll use it. But this has always been my go-to. And we'll start with that. And I'll show you what she did. She just took her pad. Oh, I should put one on, right? Sorry about that. She just took her blending pad. And I do have some of the alcohol, you know, to put on it if you want to make it lighter or darker or make spots on it or what have you. But you can use alcohol. You don't need this. That's why I have so much of it, because I always use alcohol. So I'm going to start with what I use, or what I always used before, is the gold. I mean the yellow. This is what I had found best on the Scotch tape. I don't know how it will, you know, work on this. So I'm just going to put a few dots onto my baking paper here and do that much. Take my reinker and just do this. And it dries really fast because it's alcohol. And there I have some aged tape already. So I think I might want that just a little bit darker. So I'm going to add a little bit more ink. And you could do like the whole page in this. So I'm planning on doing like a whole page of each color. And then, you know, keep it with my aged tape. With my, yeah, where I keep my aged tape. So I'm just going to do a little bit more. Make it just a little bit darker. And like I said, it dries really fast. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with this when I put, so I don't know if I should put another pad on it. You could do this with a cotton ball. That's what I used to do, you know, on the tape. But as you can see, it's turned that to that yellow, that old, you know, looking tape. I think I'll add a little bit more, because it is a little bit, like I barely had to use any on the tape, but there we go. I think that's better. So just spread it on. Let it, and I mean, you don't have to let it dry very long because it's alcohol. Drink, you know, it. And if you put too much on, just take some alcohol and wipe it. So there you go. And I'll show you the results in a minute. So now I'm going to use Sepia, which is an India ink. I don't have it in the Tim Holtz. I'm going to try the Sepia and see what that looks like. And I think I'll just use the same pad and see what happens. I haven't used this in so long, I don't think I'll be able to get it open, but I'm going to try. It's a beautiful day in Florida, as usual. No snow, which is nice. This is really dark. I'm only going to do... This is the Sepia in the India ink. It might be different in the Tim Holtz. I don't know. And it's really old, so I don't know how that's going to work. But we'll give it a try. Oh, I like it. Oh, I love it. I really like it a lot. That's very nice. I'm going to add a little bit of the alcohol on it just to get it spread because, like I said, it's old and it came out kind of. Oh, now I got some yellow in there. That's all right. We can have different color age tape, right? And then just brush it off to the end onto your calendar page or book page or mat or whatever you're going to use. The calendar page works great because you can just throw it away. So I like that a lot. I'm going to add a little bit more of the sepia. It's so old. Wait, is that the sepia? Or is that the brown? No, that's the sepia. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to that. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I think that ink is really too old. Yeah, that ink is too old, but that's okay. It looks good. I like it. Add some alcohol. Not too much because I'm just trying to spread this around. Make it look a little bit more aged. But for me, this is a game changer because, like I said, now I can just take the strips off when I need them and use them on my projects. That's a little bit too dark up there, so I'm going to add a little bit more ink. I mean, a little bit more alcohol. I love adding tape to like my old photos, the bottoms, like the stems of my flowers, and definitely my old documents that I scan or that I purchase from like Heather from Ruby and Pearl, or I have a lot of French documents that I scan because I don't want to, use them. And my paper from Rach oh, that wasn't good. I'll find it later. So that's the sepia. Let's try the gold. I'm going to change my pad for this. I should change the pad first. I guess I didn't have to really change that for the yellow, but and like I said, you can use a cotton ball. You wouldn't have to use these. I just have them because I use my makeup brushes for my Distress inks. Here's the gold. This would look pretty. Add a little bit of alcohol to that before I spread it. Ooh, very nice. I'm going to do a lot. That looks great. Oh my gosh, I love that color. That's the gold. Do a lot of that down here. Might have added a little bit too much alcohol, but that's okay. I love it. You don't want it to be perfect anyway. Just keep spreading it until it's dry. Yeah, that gold is very nice. Definitely, you know, what you would see like on an image. Say, you know, you printed an image, you might see this on the image. But this would be, you know, something you could put over it so it would really look real. That's the gold. And I love it. Yeah, that's a great color. Perfect color. I wish I had an image that I have already had printed to show you how on some of the things, you know, you have that have this on the image, but it's not real because it's, you know, it's in the image. That looks fabulous. Love that. And then I'm just going to do this a little bit darker. I don't know why. It's just, in my age tape, it looks a little bit darker. So I'm using the same one, the gold. But this is mixed with the yellow. And I like it. I love it. I really do love that. There you go. And then I'll do some yellow down here because it's been my go-to, so. And you can be more careful than I am. I'm just doing like, so that you can see. I didn't want to do like 10 pages because I didn't know which one I'd like the best. So I'll choose which one I like the best, and then I'll make a whole page of it. Or a couple of pages, you know. So that's done. It's dry and done. And you can use it right away. Rose. My friend Rose from Journals in Time, she doesn't like to wait. I always laugh. I don't like to wait either. Waiting for glue to dry drives me crazy, especially if I'm in the middle of a project. I just want to lighten this up a little bit. Not lighten it up, but just spread it out a little bit because it got kind of clumpy there. Now I just think I took it all off. Dang. Yellow. I did take it all off. So if you don't like your color, just take it off with some alcohol. That looks great. And then just spread it. I did get some into the gold, but that's okay. I think it looks good. You have to be kind of quick because it's alcohol ink and it dries really fast. Okay, so now that's done. Hooray. Put a little bit yellow there. It's just a little bit too dark for me. And you don't want it too heavy because you want to be able to see through it. on your document. I'm not really loving the sepia, but that's probably because it's old and it's not a Tim Holtz. I think it would probably work fine even if it wasn't Tim Holtz, but I've had it for a long time. I used to do a lot of alcohol inking. I loved it. I should do more. This is just beautiful. I love it. It dries very fast. You gotta be kind of quick. Now I have a bunch of age tape. Right? A little bit more yellow up here. I think it's because I haven't changed my pad too, that it's not coming out real yellow, but I don't like it real yellow, but because you want to be able to see through the tape, of course. Dang. I'm going to start using my fingers in a second. There we go. No, still not getting it. I think I won't rub it. There we go. So Toni's art creation, I think it is. I'll link her video below because she did all different colors. She did red, she did pink, she did, oh my gosh, so many different colors. I'm really worried about that. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to get a cotton ball. Sorry. So I can show you, it's not a cotton ball, it's one of these round ones. And I'm just going to use that here because I keep taking it off with that, with the other. So I think this will work better. Yeah. See? Oh yeah, it works much better than using the, this is what I always used before. I don't know why I decided. I used that because that's what Toni had used. She has some great videos. She's amazing. She is amazing. She comes up with great ideas. So does Rose. I mean, everybody does. It's just crazy. So there we go. We'll just leave it like that. Put a little bit more yellow there. I do like using this better. So it's just, yeah, just use these. The cosmetic rounds. You get them at the dollar store or what have you. Grocery store. Now it's dry. And now we can play. And you know what? I think I lost the cap to this in my trash. I heard it fall. I'll have to look for it later. So let's put these aside. And the great thing is You don't have any ink on your hands. Well, a little bit, but the hand sanitizer, just grab some of that and watch. Gone. Here, I got it on my mat. Hand sanitizer. And it's off. And now I'm just going to throw this away because I don't need it, and it's got all my inks on it. Well, I can use the other side for gluing, so I'll hold on to that. And we'll do some taping. Now, I'll show you an example of what I've taped before using the Scotch tape method. This I made for a Beatrix Potter journal, and when I made it, I had torn this paper, which was in a 1957 book. When I took it out, it tore because it's so old and brittle. And Rachel from Roxy Creations, I buy paper from her, and some of it's brittle, so it will break in places. So I thought, ooh, yes, because that's what I'll use. I'll use the Scotch tape method. Okay, so that's the Scotch tape method. So that's an example. Now I also will take, this is just a scrap of an old letter that I had aged, and see how it tore there on purpose when I aged it. And this is how I age it. I take my document and I just keep rubbing it in my hands like this. And the oils and the heats from your hands actually break up the fibers and turn it almost into a cotton. So it really makes it so nice to use in your journals, especially your old documents or anything, old music paper. You just do this, put this aside for a second, and then you just unfold it like this. And I've been doing this for a very long time. And then just spread it out. And if you want it softer or have more of that like cotton feel, just keep doing it until you have it the way you want it. So this is just a piece. I didn't want to print another document. I mean, I have some printed, but I didn't want to play with those. So here, this was torn on purpose. This didn't tear, and you won't tear it. Actually, the more you do that, it's hard to tear. It almost turns into handmade paper again. Okay? So if you have white paper, white copy paper, do it with white copy paper, and you'll have like a handmade paper. It's awesome. It really is so soft, and it just looks so nice, you know? It really looks like an old document that's been hanging around for a long time. So now, all I'm going to do is scissors. I'm going to cut a piece of tape. Now this down here was kind of the yellow. So I'm just going to cut along that line where I have my tape. And anytime I need a piece of tape or full washi tape or whatever you want to use it for, you could stamp on this if you make it, do it wider. I'm just cutting along my washi. There we go. Or not washi, double-sided tape. Yeah. So then you just peel off what you want. Okay. Did I do that on the wrong side? I did. How did she do that? Dang. I don't know how she did that. Oh, you know what? I know what I did. I peeled it, but I didn't take the sticky with it. I'm like, what? I didn't peel it where it was supposed to be peeled. Hold on one second. Could use my pokey tool. Get that started. There we go. Now you've got it sticky. I'm like, what happened? So then you just take this. This is the gold that I'm using. And then you just kind of put it where you want it. And then what I would do, you know, if this was a document, I'd probably go across like that. And then sometimes what I'll do, there it is right there. Oh my gosh, what a game changer. This is fabulous. And then what I would do is I would clip it like here. So I'd have that little edge there so I know when I peel it. But I'd leave it on here. So there's that. And then sometimes what I'll do with my letters, I'll take like a little piece of lace and kind of just put it there. And then I'll take a rusted safety pin, which just put them in water and put them outside. But you have to have the non-coated safety pins and the non-coated pins or what have you. Non-coated. So yeah, these are old safety pins, so I knew that they weren't coated. But if you look on Amazon or what have you, you'll find the non-coated ones. Just make sure you type in non-coated. And then I think I'll add 2 pieces of lace to this. So it's like a little, almost like making it like a little love letter or something like that. So now you've got this old letter. Well, it's only a scrap, but you've got this old letter. That pin's too big. And sometimes with your rusted safety pins, you might have to make a hole because the rust kind of doesn't, it makes the point not pointy anymore. So, but I think this will be our, yeah, it's okay. So then what I'll do is I will put like a little piece of lace with a rusted safety pin on my dot, you know, on my letter, you know, my old French letter. And doesn't that just look, I mean, it just, to me, that looks so good and so old and so vintage, you know, it's just so pretty. And it's got the little rusted safety pin. So, I mean, it totally depends on what kind of ephemera or journal you're making. But if you're making something that's really, you know, vintage or, you know, really old, make it look older by just adding a little bit of tape and maybe some lace and a rusted safety pin. And I don't use chemicals. I know a lot of people do. You can look it up on YouTube. But I just leave mine outside in water. Same thing with paper clips, any kind of metal, as long as it's not coated. And put some old screws and stuff in your water. That will help them rust faster. But mine don't take long to rust, and I rust a lot of them. I just put them in a metal, one of those metal throwaway like pans you can buy. But see? So here's another example of something you might want to try. Let's see. Okay, so just say you've got this image here, and you want to just make it look a little bit older. Let's take some of the yellow up here. Although, yeah, I think that will show up all right. I'm just going to take a little piece of it. I don't need to go down the whole strip and keep you all day. So what I'm going to do now, just to make it look nice and make it look a little bit more vintage, I'm going to take it, make sure I get my sticky. Yep, I did. And I'm just going to, I think that's too big. I'm just going to put this across like this. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I think it looks great. And like I said, I just pulled out a couple of little things so I could show you some of the things you could do with age tape or faux washi. And you could stamp on this and make it for, you know, something different. But what a game changer than having, you know, to use the Scotch tape. So then you've got this here. And that just makes such a difference, you know, in that image. To me, it does. Maybe not to you, but it does to me. And that has a little bit of the gold in it as well, which I love. I just love it. I can't wait to show Heather at Ruby and Pearl. She's going to love that. Anyway, that's it. My great find for today when I was watching YouTube. I just love her. She's so great. Did I have something else that I could put it on? Let me see here. Let me just see. Wait, I do. My little scraps. So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to put it right across here. And just make it look a little bit, I don't know, have that little piece of tape there. Like somebody taped, you know, that on. So that's it for today. That's all I have. I'm still working on my little golden book. I'm printing some papers. I'm in a bit of a quandary with it because I don't know how I'm going to put the pages in, but I'll figure that out. So now I have a whole sheet of different colored, you know, tape I can use, age tape, and all I have to do is cut it and, you know, I can fold it up and just put it right, you know, in my file folder or in my little, I usually use those, I use these, I get them from Temu. You get like, I forget how many in a package, but you get a lot. What else do I have down here? Maybe I could put a piece of tape on it. Oh, these are, what are these? This is a sticker that I put on book page. So watch. Let's get another piece of tape and do that. That's a little bit too big, but that's all right. Just cut a little piece off. But this is just like a snippet that I made, and I'm pretty sure that's a sticker. Yes, it's a sticker. Yeah. It's a sticker that I put on a piece of book page. Okay? And the book page is really old, so it's really brittle, but that's okay. Because I'm going to be probably, you know, sticking that on a page or what have you. So we could do something like, just to add to it, put this across the bottom. And that just makes it look so much better. I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but I just think it looks great. So yeah, I mean, you could do 1,000 things with this. I love it. I think it just really, really adds a lot to, you know, your items. Where's that letter? It's not really a letter, it's just a scrap, but so try it. Let me know how it works out for you. And this is, I forget what they call it. Is a name for doing this kind of thing, which I never knew until I had watched a video. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did that forever and I didn't know that there was a name for it. Mobby paper, or I forget. But yeah, so that looks great. And I made a little hole there, which is fine. I like it because I want it to look aged. So there you go. And it turns it into almost like a rag paper, I guess. Yeah, it's like more like a rag paper, like you would get in one of those old antique books. So I'm just flattening out a couple of the wrinkles because that's what I typically will do. I'll fold out, I'll press out the wrinkles. Not a lot, but I'll press them out, as much as I can. And there you go. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was inspiring in some way. And I wish you all a very happy rest of your Sunday. Do something fun. I hope you enjoy your dinner. And yeah, so that's it. That's all I have for today. Okay, until next time, be well, be safe, and God bless. Love y'all. Bye-bye.